Hi, I'm Steve Becker. I'm a licensed clinical social worker in Westfield, New Jersey in private practice, psychotherapy practice. I have a clinical expertise in psychopathic personality, sociopathic personality. Um, I've written a book called The Inner World of the Psychopath, subtitled A Definitive Primer on the Psychopathic Personality. So I've had a long-standing interest and a clinical specialty and expertise in working with the narcissistic disorder, the spectrum of narcissistic disorders, of which psychopathy, sociopathy, or the psychopathic, sociopathic personality really reflecting just the most extreme expressions of narcissism. I hope you'll check my book out on Amazon. Again, The Inner World of the Psychopath. It's gotten some great reviews so far. I also have a blog, which I invite you to check out, called unmaskingthepsychopath.com, www.unmaskingthepsychopath.com. In all my work, in my writing and just in my own, explorations clinically of psychopathic personality, which incidentally I choose to use over the term sociopath. They're really they're interchangeable, but I, for consistency's sake, I use the term psychopath. My interest is in exploring the psychopathic mentality and factors that differentiate psychopaths from non-psychopaths. What is the psychopath's mentality? And as I've expressed in several other videos, and I'll be making many videos on the subject, the psychopath's mentality is essentially an exploitative mentality. Psychopaths are individuals who have a capacity to exploit others without remorse, with defective consciences, and there will be a history of that kind of violating, transgressive behavior without remorse and with quite remarkable disregard for the harm that they cause others. So that really, captures the essence of the psychopath's mentality. I do like to sort of just, revisit that basic definition in all my videos. In this video, I'd also like to sort of focus a little bit on some characteristics, or maybe to say it better, experiences of psychopaths that can be revealing sometimes. Many psychopaths are very well disguised. They disguise their psychopathy very effectively. The term, the psychopathic mask, really refers to the often very effective ways that psychopaths mask their exploitative agendas, and can really appear to be, very normal, and even more than normal, very, very engaging, and sometimes very seductive and very convincing. And so, effective psychopaths who are socially highly skilled can construct, very difficult to penetrate masks, and hence the term, the psychopathic mask. But while it sometimes is very difficult to bust psychopathic personalities until we've been exploited by a psychopath, I think there are certain experiences of psychopaths that can sometimes be telling, and can sometimes, sort of reflect, red flags that we might really pay more attention to. In a prior video, I talked about psychopathic lying and really emphasized and elaborated on that. And I will revisit that here, because psychopaths really are liars. Not all liars are psychopaths, but psychopaths are chronic, unconscionable liars. And so if you find yourself involved with individuals who lie, everyone is capable of lying and deceiving, but psychopaths are historically chronic deceivers and liars. And I think that, it's kind of like the expression, fool me once, shame on you; fool me twice, shame on me. I think that when we find ourselves involved with people who prove to be serial liars, that can, that can really signal that we're dealing with somebody possibly quite psychopathic, not necessarily, but possibly. People who can perpetrate and re-perpetrate serious deceptions really merit consideration as possessing some psychopathic tendencies, if not full-blown psychopathy. So pay careful attention to that. Maybe you want to cut somebody some slack whom you've busted in a lie, but if they repeat that lie or you bust them in subsequent lies, then you need to really ask yourself, am I dealing with somebody who's got a serious problem? The answer to that will, inescapably be yes. I think also that the experience of feeling that you're experiencing something that feels almost too good to be true can be also significant, because what often feels too good to be true, for instance, a new relationship where somebody is just showering you with attention and love and just appears to be delivering just a heady, giddy experience, a sort of idealized experience that feels too good to be true. A lot of things that feel too good to be true really aren't true. And there are many psychopathic personalities, not all, who can really affect that kind of experience in order to seduce someone who's with any number of different manipulative agendas. So keeping this video really particularly concise, I want to just forewarn you to really see that as a red flag. It's wonderful to feel great about someone and to feel that something feels fantastic and promising, but when something feels almost giddily perfect, or when you're with somebody who's creating that experience, I think that it also merits some detachment to ask yourself, this feels too good to be true, or almost too good to be true. Is it possible that it really is? And then I'm really dealing with somebody, who is manipulatively delivering this incredible experience that on some level seems hard to imagine is really sustainable. It's a little bit vague in general what I'm expressing right now, but I want to be revisiting this in some other videos. So keep it short for this one, and I hope you'll check out my impending videos, and thanks for watching.